Hi guys, welcome. So, see, they're gonna make me fucking laugh. Okay, so today I'm with Bree and Van, and we're gonna be talking about basically religion, spirituality, and get all into the nitty gritty.
We're gonna be getting deep.
Yeah, we're getting deep today. Yeah. So, I'm gonna start off. What does religion mean to you guys?
To me,
Yeah.
religion is in somewhat a way of kind of control.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's like a book of rules that its followers go by.
Yeah. So let me ask, did either of you grow up really religious?
I grew up going to church. My grandma had us go to church.
Like every single Sunday?
Yep.
Yeah? What about you?
No, I never went to church. I think my parents knew I would burst into flames if I set foot in a church.
He came out the womb a sinner.
I really did.
Wait, so neither of your parents were religious at all?
No.
Or are religious?
No, I think at one point after I was truly deviant, my mom might have been like, we should have taken him to church. But other than that,
Were you
no.
that bad?
He was
Yeah,
pretty bad.
we're not here to talk about me.
I definitely think that Christianity, or honestly religion as a whole, is very, like, about control.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the whole point of it to begin with was to make people assimilate. And what were you going to say?
Well, I mean, thinking about like the medieval era, I mean, people only lived such a short time. Their lives are so shitty. These peasants who were like rotting of diseases and had brittle bones and were like under these lords who really oppressed and took advantage of them. And essentially, Christianity was a way to prevent uprisings because they were their lives were so hopeless. We need a way to like punish them after they die. So like, if you defy your lords, like as the Bible says you're not supposed to,
Right.
or defy the rules of Christianity or circumscribed religion,
Yeah.
and even after you die you're going to be punished. Because if all of them were atheists and they this was the only life and their life is that shitty, there would be like revolutions, revolts, and but now that they have actually something to lose even after death,
Right, it's like it gives you
a way
an
to control
incentive to
them.
be,
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you think about it from, I don't know, like slavery aspect, colonization. I mean, Christianity was used to tell the slaves, like, don't disobey your slave master.
Which it says in the Bible.
Yeah, do this, do that,
Mm-hmm.
or else, like, basically you're going to hell, you're going to get beat, whatever, your life is going to be a fucking miserable shit.
I mean, the Bible specifically is just a way to keep society from falling apart at the time. Yeah. So that's why it says, like, slaves don't revolt, people respect your parents, give your money to the church, don't kill, etc. It's all things that just prevent their society from crumbling.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that with all religions, like Buddhism, Islamic, Christianity, whatever, because I know there's other ones out there, Judaism.
Just a few.
Just a few to mention.
Mm-hmm.
There is good things to take from it. I definitely think that the core of it, me and my dad talk about this a lot, like the core of all religions is, and really the purpose is just love everybody and like give love. People misconstrued and have their own narratives about things, and they try to, give a certain agenda.
I think it also brings hope to people.
I think so too.
Who have none.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to look up to and believe in.
Yeah. Gives you a something to look at bigger than yourself. Yeah. Type of ideal. Yeah.
And it's a way to make people think they're going to get something good even if they're getting screwed their whole life.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I see Buddhism, did I say it? As like the least controlling of them.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more like self-discipline and how you yourself can be a better person.
Yeah.
And your energy output in the world.
They have the 7 laws of Buddhism, Buddhism. And I think a lot of it's like, don't drink or like do drugs, or, like infiltrate your body. I think, put good things in your body, because most Buddhists, I think, are also like vegetarians.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they really about one with yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Buddha was like the whole point of enlightenment. Well, I don't know if you know like Siddhartha, was Buddha before enlightenment. And he was basically, the story is he was like this rich kid, right? Like he was like grew up very rich, very privileged, never really knew what it was like to have anything other than a first world experience. And basically he was like, well, I want to find...
Do we know the origin? I meant the location where this was...
I'm pretty sure in India.
Okay.
Right? Do you know for sure?
No, I don't know for sure.
I think it's India. I'm almost positive. Forgive me for not knowing exactly, but yeah. So basically, he goes on like this journey to find the purpose of life, to find enlightenment, and just lives. He's like without possessions, no money, just like traveling, and he finds this one tree after going on this journey. He goes to the tree and he finds like the purpose of enlightenment. Yeah. And becomes one with himself, and then becomes Buddha. And that Buddha is like a martyr now for Buddhism religion. So yeah, that's why it's kind of all about self-rules and self-help and healing.
So I have done a lot of research and a lot of experimentation into like the teachings of an ancient, well, not ancient, but from the early 1900s, a cult society called the Radiant Order of the Golden Dawn, who would do like spells and rituals and stuff like that to like and like a lot of meditation. It's all based in meditation, and even in like the Kabbalah, which is the ancient book of Judaism. Yeah. They are like kind of involves a lot of like wizardry and witchcraft and what we would call the witchcraft today, and basically people meditate in order to like enter a place called the astral plane. Yeah, like astral projection. Yep, and there they will do battle with various guardians to enter these gates to enlightenment, and you climb up what's called the Kabbalistic tree, and it has all these fruits on it. Yeah. And as you advance spiritually, you defeat these guardians and ultimately evolve to a more complete version of yourself. Right. Be united with like your holy guardian angel, which is like a spirit that basically protects you on your journey through the astral plane. Right. And even like, a concept like a golem. A golem is something in Judaism that is constructed in order to protect you in the astral plane. And also they would do rituals to like create a weapon. So like using spells to create a sword, and then when you were in the astral plane, you'd be able to wield it. And have like golems protecting you and stuff like that. Yep. Wow. But ultimately, meditation is the main key. Well, meditation is a big part about the first step. Buddhism. And that's another thing, like Siddhartha, he would go and like meditate everywhere he went and just try to become one with himself. Do you guys meditate at all? Have you ever been meditated?
So I thought that I wasn't the best for meditating just because I just lack focus sometimes. Yeah. But I do have many, many, many thoughts, and I guess I just thought it was more of like centering yourself and just not having thoughts, but
in a way,
if I kind of just sit there and just relax, the anxious thoughts kind of go away.
Yeah, those intrusive thoughts. Yeah. Yeah. I used to meditate a lot. I don't really have the time to do it anymore. I wish I could. When I go to the gym, I try to do it for at least 10 minutes, like closing out. Yeah. But I used to meditate a lot. And really? I astral projected a couple times, which is like a whole other thing we could talk about. But, yeah, I started with like guided meditations off of YouTube. Okay. And that, there's also a book you should read, Journey of Souls, and that's I was telling you about that. Yeah. And that helped me kind of like zone out and kind of center myself, because it is about drowning out your thoughts and just kind of being one. Okay. With your breathing.
The Enlightenment, The Power of Now is a really good book.
I've read that. Yeah.
I think it talks about. I think the purpose of the book is getting you to reach enlightenment. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I started reading it, I really had to focus on what I was reading, because the words they're just larger words that have
we're trying to
big meanings, but a good book.
Yeah, it is a good book. Have you read The Power of Now?
Mm-hmm. I have it.
You should read Journey of Souls. Did you
even like going? I remember my friend and I were just opening up random parts of the book, and everything. Each part was like relatable. Was something to really think deeply about.
That was awesome. Yeah. As far as the meditation thing, I when I did do it, I kind of struggled with it, keeping my eyes closed, but I found like just staring at a wall was just as effective.
Yeah. You don't have to close. You don't have to close your eyes.
Like open-eyed meditation. And I was getting acupuncture recently, and there was a couple times like when I'd get acupuncture, and then I would have like astral visions and like dream like like enter.
Well, they say that is one way to
Yeah.
like open, because it's opening up like your chakras.
Yeah, opening, having like waking visions and stuff like that. It didn't happen every time, but I found that like when you're in acupuncture, they also have to push some sort of bullshit pseudo Eastern how do I put it, like a veneer over it, even though it's just like some white guy who probably learn how to do it online. So they have like holistic gong music playing while you're getting it done. So,
yeah, because it is like a holistic practice. It's like a holistic practice.
So are there any doctors? Is it?
He claims he's a doctor.
Really?
Well, the thing about holistic, and I am really into like holistic medicine, but I think the thing about holistic practices nowadays, they get a bad rep because a lot of the time you don't have to have like a.
Just say.
Yeah, you don't have to have
he doesn't have a medical.
You don't have to have a medical degree because it's not like that's real. It's just like Western medicine is like science, the science that we follow. So
like my grade school principal, one day he went from Mr. Clayton to Dr. Clayton. And he took a fucking correspondence course. Like, you're not Dr. Clayton. Meanwhile, you haven't missed a single day of work. So I don't know when you were pursuing this doctorate.
Yeah, right.
They insisted everyone call him Dr. Clayton, not realizing the absurdity of it. Having 10-year-olds.
A doctorate really just means you being an expert in the field.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you have an actual doctorate... Sorry.
No.
Because you can have a doctorate in music. You can have you can have a doctorate in like anything.
An actual doctorate means you attended 12 years of school for it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they have like shorter degrees for masters and stuff like that.
For doctorate? Or what about in any field? Or is that just doctor of medicine?
I mean, that guy the acupuncturist didn't go to school for 12 years.
No.
I can tell you that right now. And he's claiming to be a doctor.
For stuff like to do like acupuncture, like be like a chiropractor or stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't go to medical school.
Yeah, they don't have a medical license.
You just take courses or you do like a program. It's like becoming like a massage therapist or something like that.
I can call myself Dr. Massage all I want. It doesn't mean I have an ND.
I know, but holistic medicine gets a bad fucking rep. But a lot of the times
you got some certificate written in Chinese hanging off your wall. I don't know what that says.
They took a course online,
could
never
be a takeout
touched
menu
anybody
for all I know. Yeah.
And they're like, so this is why I'm about to break your bones doing this fucking chiropractic.
Yeah, for all I know, you clipped it out of a menu.
You have to sign disclaimers, right? Before
you do. Because they can literally kill you.
I don't even know if I did at this place. I don't think I signed shit.
Wait, not for acupuncture?
I don't think I signed anything. I can't remember. Maybe I did.
You need to call that place back.
No, it was honestly...
I'm disconnected.
Exactly. No, it's like, it's in some cheap, like, underneath...
Wait, why did you go there?
It was just the first thing that showed up on Google, if I'm being honest.
Oh, great.
Even the title. I don't want to yell at
let's not
I don't name out the business.
Don't,
I've actually had some good experiences there. I have had some good experiences
there.
Next thing
you know, they're emailing me like,
exactly. Well, the one day I went in, there had been a power outage in the whole building. And so the fucking bullshit gong music wasn't playing while I'm doing the acupuncture. And that was when I actually had like the waking dreams and visions and stuff. Because I realized I found the music really distracting just because it was something I would focus on subconsciously and not be able to like free my mind enough to...
I actually need silence to completely focus. Like if I'm doing a task and there's music on, I'll like get into the music, like dancing and stuff. Or like driving, I really don't listen to like music or anything.
What?
Yeah, no.
I can't.
That's why
I'm such a music head.
I usually listen to podcasts while I'm driving, honestly. Depends on
I do it too. Music runs through my veins. I
do like music, but I don't know. I'm more for like a conversation.
Driving?
Not with myself. But
okay.
like if I'm in the car, I'm usually like talking to the person and they had to like turn the music down and turn it back up.
I understand that. Like if you're having a conversation with somebody, but like if you're just driving,
have a lot of thoughts.
Driving solo, you don't like.
I just have like a lot of thoughts I'm kind of going through in my head.
I still have the thoughts listening to music.
And I just can't. It's separate. Or if I'm watching a YouTube video, I like stop what I'm doing to be engaged. So if I'm like doing a task, I usually have like those cozy or like lo-fi music, the coffee shop music playing in the background.
See, I put music on to do like everything: cook, clean, do laundry. I feel like I can't.
I find it most successful if I really don't know the music, like, or I'm saying like, if I just hit shuffle and if I download like a whole album or something like that, and I haven't listened to all the songs yet, that's when I'll like kind of
like lock in.
Yeah, but I'm not really like paying attention to the music.
Well, what I like to do is I'll make playlists for like I'm like really into making I make playlists specifically for like I have like a cleaning playlist.
Oh, wow.
So that like I'll put that on.
That's
I mean, not always when I'm cooking. Sometimes I just play whatever I
There's
want.
no cooking playlist?
No, I should make one.
You
That's
need to
actually
get
a good
on
idea.
that.
I'll
What are you
get
doing?
on that.
What are you doing hosting a fucking podcast? You need to go make a playlist. You're saying it'll benefit society.
And I love making a playlist because I don't know, it's like a hobby of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you share them?
Yeah, you can go on
I
Spotify.
haven't shared it with us.
I need to get on Spotify.
I got
Yeah.
you. I got you. I do it for my friends all the time. I can make you like a catered playlist. My friend was so shout out to Sierra. My friend was so fucking impressed with me because I made her like a 100-song playlist in like 20 minutes, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And it's so I love every single song on here. Like it's so me. I was like, because I know I do this shit.
Maybe we can somehow monetize that.
I know. I should figure out a way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Rolling it back to the core
Roll
of
it
the
back.
conversation.
Well, we're the two who are probably gonna get you most off topic.
That's okay. That's
of
okay.
Anybody you've ever met.
Do you believe in God?
I feel like so what God will we be talking about? I feel like
That's a good question.
I feel like when people say God, well, in my experience at least, maybe like I guess living in America, they're usually talking about the Christian God.
A white man with a beard.
Yeah. I personally think that I believe in God. I don't believe I believe in a higher power. Do I believe that God is who Christianity specifically has like constructed him to be, like you said, a white man with a beard? I think the higher power out there is more like one with nature. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like revolved around. Yeah, it's almost like the best way I can explain it is like reincarnation. It's like one sound kind of energy that revolves around the whole globe and solar system. And
maybe
like,
that's
you know
what I would say. I believe in like an energy.
Yeah.
Rather than a God. I like,
especially a man.
I very much
always
believe.
A man. We're always talking about the man upstairs.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
I very much believe in like some sort of, how do I put this? Like, it's like the Feywild. If you can explain what that is.
Do you know what the Feywild is?
No, I do not. What
it's
is
like
that?
the land where fairies roam free. And all your magic dreams come true.
Mostly
on
like
another plane of existence.
That reminds me. Have you guys seen True Blood?
No.
What? Watch True Blood.
Mm-mm.
Mostly like that.
Why? It's a good fucking show.
Mostly like woodland spirits and such. Like
druids. You know what druids are? Druids are like in Celtic areas back in the day. They were basically like experts on nature who would commune with nature and create like things like the what is it called, Stonehenge, things like that.
Okay.
Yep, and detect a ley line, which is basically like allegedly a magical force that runs through the earth, deep in the earth. And that's where they would do their rituals and things like that. So the reason why you may have noticed like Easter, for example, stands out for like these weird things in it, like the rabbits and the eggs, or like a Christmas tree coming inside your house. Basically, what that was from was Christians conquering other lands and wanting them to assimilate to Christianity. And in order to do that and make it more palatable, make it a sweeter pill to swallow, they would integrate parts of their religion.
Right, because Christmas is a pagan holiday.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're bringing trees into their house, because they worship nature. Or the thing with the eggs and the rabbit, it's like fertility and nature spirits and things like that. So that's the basis of any of those things that you see in Christianity that kind of like stand out, and you're like, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
Do you?
I was just saying, this year specifically, I kind of fell off from Christmas, like not really understanding the point of
I
celebrating.
think we were talking about this at work the one day, weren't we?
Because I just like I don't subscribe to the Christianity religion.
So she got me no presents.
No, that's not true.
I think
I just like, I find it odd me celebrating that if I don't practice the religion.
That's
like,
a good point.
It's more of just an American holiday of gift giving.
But I think that's kind of like the point of most holidays now. I was talking to Jermaine about this at work because he doesn't celebrate any holidays because he's very like. I know people that are super religious. He's not super religious, but I know people that are super religious.
But he's not a Jehovah's Witness.
Is he?
That's usually the ones not celebrating holidays.
Well, I know. Well, most like Muslims don't celebrate.
correct.
They don't celebrate their birthdays, and they obviously
Really?
don't celebrate. They don't celebrate
God.
Christmas, but they don't celebrate how like
That sounds
vain
like,
holidays.
depressing.
Well, but he like I know that the reason for it is because you're supposed to celebrate life every day and not like have vanity, and especially with like birthdays. And he said Christmas or Easter or Valentine's Day or whatever is very commercialized, and you should be doing the things that you would do on Christmas or whatever.
Valentine's Day definitely is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Valentine's Day is a manufactured holiday because they didn't have anything in between January, you know what I mean, and March.
Candy companies
Yep,
need to
we
sell.
need to sell
Chocolate
wine.
companies
Yep,
and flower
we
companies
gotta
need
keep
to
it
sell their
moving.
shit. Yeah.
We gotta keep it moving. We gotta make these people feel bad for not getting their girlfriend dead flowers and waxy
Get your
chocolate.
girlfriend a plant.
Walgreens.
Get your girlfriend a plant.
Yeah, get your girlfriend
instead
a
of
plant.
flowers.
Facts.
Truly pathetic.
I
sad.
like some roses. You don't like roses?
Roses are very cheap. Someone was telling me in in a South American country. I don't want to get it wrong, but it might be Costa Rica. I think that's where the majority of them come here from, and they're sold for, like in Costa Rica, I believe it might not be Costa Rica, but it's a South American country. You can get them for like $5.
Costa Rica is not is it Caribbean? I thought it was is it?
No, it is,
If I go over
it's
there-
South America.
Yeah.
If I go over there and clip a bunch of stems off one of my many plants and hand them to you, it's no different. Same thing. You're just clipping off the
Wait,
flower of a
actually, can I
plant.
have a propagated? I want to. Can I have a propagation?
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it off air.
You can have one of the cactuses that he broke of mine.
Okay, the cactus aren't ready. I thought you forgave me. And I keep bringing it up.
Okay, so back to rolling it back. I know that a lot of people who are super religious or spiritual, because I think spirituality nowadays is kind of intertwined with Christianity. People that like reach some really high place within spirituality, they're like, oh yeah, like the Most High, and they don't celebrate holidays. They're like paganism is witchcraft. But I know spirituality and witchcraft kind of go like
that's
in
why
hand.
personally I think spirituality and religion are different.
They are, but like I said, nowadays I've been seeing a lot like people that I knew that were like super spiritual or like witchy in a way, that were like crystals and like manifestation and like affirmations, mantras, things like that. They reach, I don't even know if it's propaganda or whatever is going on with the algorithm of like YouTube and whoever's speaking.
Oh God.
I don't know if you guys know this, but like somewhere along the way, people have been like intertwining them, and now they're like people that
Yes.
you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
They come to a conclusion with their research, and they need something else to guide them.
Conspiracy theories are like finding their way into like that.
As far as crystals go, the study of crystals and tapping into their magical properties is called gemology.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The person who discovered gemology was Albertus Magnus, who was a magician who would travel during the Salem witch trials and show up to defend these women who were going to be executed and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's actually a Catholic saint. So he was sainted, but of course they had to strike out all that stuff that was like the occultism because they can't have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, a Catholic saint invented the study of
Interesting.
Why do
the
you
crystals
think,
and things like that.
Religion has such an issue with witchcraft?
Oh, this is a loaded one. I think that because so it really goes back to racism,
Really?
patriarchy. I think that anything that was sacred to indigenous people, because like witchcraft is all, for the most part, or like spirituality, that's all like indigenous practices, like all that stuff, like Native Americans or like whoever was indigenous to whatever kind, like Jamaicans, for example, like Arawak Indians, they were native to Jamaica. A lot of the stuff that is incorporated in Jamaican culture today and the Caribbean as a whole is very like spiritual, and they're very like holistic, and it's what like Rastafarians, what they are.
Yeah.
I think that when colonization, especially the Europeans, took over and they were trying to assimilate areas, they were like, well,
stamp it out.
Yeah, they were like,
Yep.
we're
This is how we've done our thing, and your thing is unfamiliar to us.
Exactly. So we need to get the fuck
The
get rid of that
the
shit.
reason is in Christianity we have to be we're all under there's only one God. So
Exactly.
and I as the priest I am closer to God than you.
Yeah.
So I have power
Moral
over
high
you.
ground. Yeah.
So if you're doing witchcraft and communing with spirits and doing magic and things like that and getting results, that jeopardizes the power of God because it goes over God and it goes into another realm. They can't have that. They can't have someone undermining.
And it's
it.
all about
something
like
that's
control.
not explained as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. They can't have that because it makes the witchcraft practitioners be as powerful as the priest, and they can't have that.
But just like how like you were talking about the Salem witch trials, just like Salem witch trials and how that made its way. I mean, I think like just like religion, there's dark aspects to like witchcraft, obviously. But you could say that there's extreme versions of everything.
People often connect it to like the devil.
Yeah, they do.
Which is not always the case. It can be.
Yeah.
But
I don't think that's the core of it. But people are like, oh yeah, this is demonic. All witchcraft is demonic. And I'm like, I don't think that, because prayer, if we're talking about
meditation,
is manifestation. I mean, all you're doing when you're praying is just, prayer is just another word for manifest. Like, you're just trying to get an idea out there and you want it to happen. You're hoping or whatever. It's all the same shit. So it's like, same, you know what I mean? Like tomato, tomato. Like,
as far as you were asking about like believing in God and the nature of God, so the ancient Egyptians, they had people who were like elevated to a higher level of knowledge and studied the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which passages we have it, but parts of it are missing.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And essentially through rituals, they ascended to being spirits when they died, okay?
Yeah.
And gods to them.
Right.
All right, so, and I had some experience with this, just stumbling upon things and having things just kind of be manifest in my life. And like, you can use a crystal ball or a mirror or something like that and create a ritual to conjure them. And they will come, not just the Egyptians, whatever kind of deity you're working with, or spirit, more like a spirit. Like when you say deities, when you think of God, you're thinking, a lot of people in the Christian tradition are thinking of someone who's all powerful.
Right.
Okay, they're not all powerful.
Yeah.
But they have ascended beyond to another plane. So like a lot of religions involve like contacting of spirits. And that's what people do in witchcraft as well. And then I've done it myself. And when you use the ball and communicate with them. And basically, like, maybe ask for a favor, maybe ask them to help you out in some way.
Right. It's like talking to your spirit guides.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
When I see, like, my angel numbers, I'm talking to, my spirit guides, and I'm like, I'm hoping for this, or I want to do this. And though that's, like, a sign that they're, around, and they're hearing. Yeah, exactly.
So are angel numbers picked, or they are, like...
I don't think so.
Aligned with
I think it's aligned with you. Like, what I see specific ones all the time, like every day, all the time, in different forms. Like, I'll see it on the clock, I'll see it when I'm driving on somebody's license plate, I'll see it maybe when I'm watching something, or I look at a comment, like then the numbers show up. Or like the other day, it was so fucking crazy. I was driving, 444 is the one that I've always, like, the one that I started seeing the most to begin with. That and like 111.
What does that one mean specifically?
That one means that 444. I think it's like things are aligning for you. What you're manifesting is happening. Like it's gonna turn around. Like good fortune, good affirmation. Like that's what it means.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. I've been trying to remember which each one I see means exactly. But I know that's what 444 means. But it was so crazy. The other day I was driving. The clock said 444. I had 44 miles left on my gas, and then I looked over and there was a house, and the number was 444.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what do you use? What do you do with that information?
When I see them, I just I'll say affirmations, and I just try to take it as a sign that like things are aligning in the way I want them to. Or if I say I saw like 666 or something, which is crazy because my license plate actually has 666 in it. Or if I saw like 999, or I saw one that like wasn't aligning with, and I look it up and it's like not aligning with what I want, or whatever.
Yeah.
Would that mean something to like
change?
You gotta run the person's car off the road. Drag them into a ditch. That's what the spirit guide demands. The spirit guide demands.
I've never seen 999, thank God. But I've seen. Do you ever see angel numbers at all?
What about reptile people?
Where are the reptilians on these questions? Let's get into it.
That's what I was talking about with how spirituality and Christianity are like have inter fucking twined, and people with these conspiracy theories are like.
Here's the reason for that. It is because of the algorithm.
Yeah,
the same
right.
way
It's like
people get
yeah.
like radicalized from it.
Mhm.
They keep seeing increasingly extreme conspiracy stuff on YouTube, and next thing you know, they're at a Trump rally, like
No, but it's a one way.
screaming death to Jews.
I
You
tell
know what
people,
mean?
no, I tell people it's like the propaganda for that shit. Like
Yeah.
you go down one conspiracy. That's
Yeah.
why I try not to like do that shit
Oh
because
yeah,
you
it's
go down.
crazy.
And there is some stuff that like I do believe, like
Mhm.
the Mandela effect and like shit like
Somehow
that.
it always ends up back on the Jews, though. These conspiracy theories, I've noticed.
Always, yeah.
just
Maybe
kinda-
there's a reason for that.
I just came to
No,
the
I'm just kidding.
realization.
I don't think that, guys.
Me either. I don't either.
I just came to the realization that those religious cards that they always give you, like I've been viewing that as propaganda.
No, it definitely
Yeah.
is.
Like I didn't ask for this. You're giving it to me. You don't know what I believe.
Yeah.
And like I have this card now that
You
I'm
need
just-
Jesus
I'm
in
just
your
like-
life.
Yeah, like imagine if I was giving out cards to come over here for like an Egyptian spirit conjuring.
Yeah.
People would be like, "What the
I know
fuck?"
people like,
We
what's
have
this
such
guy?
issues
What's this
with
guy?
that.
Or
This
or
schizo?
like come to the Satanists, come to the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
For a gathering.
And it's so weird how stuff like that is normalized, but it's so embedded in the American culture that we're so used to it. Just like
Yeah.
Christianity being
Yeah.
the
Just the other day,
forefront.
we went to like a Planned Parenthood and they had the freaking
Oh,
picketers
God.
outside.
Oh yeah, they
And they're trying to tell us like, God
Mind you,
this and God
not all
that.
Planned Parenthoods do abortions.
Right.
It's like select.
That's what I had to
Well,
tell this
and
guy.
that's not why I was there.
So,
Yeah.
but if she was, it would be
if
okay.
she was, that's her fucking business.
Yeah. So I'm outside because I can't like sit comfortably in the car unless it's moving.
Yeah.
I can't like sit in my car while it's parked.
First of all, I was like, do you want to come with me? Because I thought that would be an experience for him.
So So I'm standing outside the car.
Mhm.
And they're like, "There's another way." I was like, "What?" Like, "There's another way. You don't have to do this." I'm like, "Do what?"
And those are the crazies.
Like, there's a place.
Those people are crazy.
There's a place you can go right up the road. They will take your child and you can watch it grow.
Like, what the
And
fuck?
I was like, first of all, if people kept every single child that they were pregnant with that they didn't want, our economy would collapse under the weight of all these unwed mothers with these children and having to sap up all the social programs that already is a heavy demand. And if not, they would be criminals, because that's who ends up being criminals.
Yeah.
Are children of unwed mothers who didn't want them to be born.
Yes.
Because they're always low income, they have no income coming in, now they got to pay for food and clothes and all this stuff, and they turn to crime because that's their only way to put food on
Yeah.
the table.
No, that's a fact.
Which I explained to them. And
Yeah.
I was like,
They
no,
never take into account people's financial situation.
Yeah.
Like
Or just for the simple fact that some people are horrible, and just because you're phically intimate with somebody
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you need to be raising
Yeah.
another human being.
No, when you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I fucked him. You know what I mean? Not that I would be saying that. Pause. Not that I would be saying that, but like, and then being like, wow, I need to go get a Plan B right now. The fact that people can get pregnant by accident and could just go get a Plan B the next day, maybe keep in mind the fact some random dude just came inside you. Not to shame anyone, but like, come on, guys.
Yeah. No.
Come on,
come
like
on.
seriously. If
You,
you're,
you have 3 days to make a decision.
yeah, if you're out there getting cummed in by strangers,
Yeah.
like, you need to stop doing that.
That is true,
Seriously.
though.
No, that is true. And
Seriously.
I mean, it's all about being responsible. I mean, I also
Call me
too-
old fashioned.
I also too. I mean, I definitely don't agree with people using like abortion as a form of birth control. You know,
Right.
I don't think that that's.
I don't think they
Right.
want to be doing that.
But I mean, if you've had like 5,
People
6
just aren't being
abortions,
like, they're not being safe to begin with sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
why aren't you on birth control?
Yeah.
there is a line to being like responsible with.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be responsible when you're having sex, regardless.
Yeah, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
Because you know that has real life consequences.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? What I'm saying. Like,
Better to have 5 abortions than 5 kids you can't support. Like, crazy.
but I mean, obviously, like I was gonna say, not everybody's meant to be a parent. Like,
No, they're
that's
not.
like the highest regard. You're putting another person into society.
Yeah.
And that is like, I mean, it's honestly the ultimate responsibility.
It is.
And people don't take it as seriously as they should because people don't give a fuck about children. But that's
No.
a whole other conversation for
You
another
know,
time.
we were discussing the fact that, like, I thought like a child being an accident, like I thought that was like a rarity. And I'm beginning to think that like that's the majority of children are accidents. Because nobody, honestly, unless you're in a very specific situation, nobody sits down with their boyfriend and says, "Let's have a kid."
I tell people that all the time. I'm like, they're like, it's maybe like, I mean, I don't know the exact statistic, but it's maybe 3% of people in their 30s that are like, yeah, we're trying.
Yeah.
Or you, after you have one kid, you're like, okay. But I mean, nobody's ever like really actively, like no one's ever like,
The only people you see with 5 kids are super low income.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, but when you see people who actually...
Or they are wealthy and,
and Christian, usually.
Yeah. Well,
Who are those like 20 kid YouTubers you follow?
I do.
How many of them are not Christians?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
I do follow.
I mean, that's like a big thing. It's like spread your seed and which I mean, yes, because obviously, but
when you see people who actually like aside
those are also the people that actually do have the village to help them.
Yeah.
Aside from like you mentioned the Christian YouTubers, like when you look at people who actually have money, have finances, and have plans to their life and are established, they never have more than like maximum 3 kids.
Yeah.
They always have 2, and there's a reason for that because they actually plan to have them. We have this much money, we have this plan for this child, we have this how we're going to afford them. This is for our housing. What kind of house we're living in that will accommodate a room for a child. Like they actually use logic. When people aren't educated and are low income, they don't think or have the means to do that. I mean, Plan B is not that expensive, so you know what I mean? Seriously, like
they just like put them in like a sport that's saturated with people, so they can't really get pro if they tried.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like I don't know. I feel like if you're having a kid, you need to like
have a reason for doing it.
Yeah. and have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do respect the people that, are like, you know what, I'm going to have this baby and make it work.
Yeah, like our friend we were talking about earlier.
Who, Colin?
Oh.
I mean, sometimes people's children aren't planned and they actually like get it together and really like change their life.
I mean, I could say from my perspective, I mean, it's not like I was trying to get pregnant.
Yeah.
But, you would just say?
Oh.
But I mean, it happened. It's not like I was trying to avoid it either, so to say. I mean, I wasn't like...
That is also a common thing that I hear from people.
Yeah.
They say they weren't planning, but they are not preventing.
If you're not preventing, you're going to get pregnant.
I mean, I knew it would happen eventually.
You know the night you conceived your child?
Mm-hmm.
Were you listening to music during it?
Probably, I don't remember.
Do you listen to music when you have sex?
Probably.
No, serious questions.
It depends.
No, not me. I want to hear
not at all?
No, I want to hear all the noises.
If I can put music on, I usually would.
I want to hear...
You can still hear that.
No, you can't. Not with fucking Dominic Fike playing. And I'm supposed to be laying pipe, like...
Shout out my man.
Well, some male voice is playing? Like, that's kind of sus.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'm saying. If you're listening to a dude singing and you're a dude laying pipe...
Like, The Weeknd is sexy as fuck. Some sexy music going on to get the vibes going.
No, I need to hear all the moans.
I feel like music can get the vibe.
It doesn't do it.
This combo is getting so
last
off track.
Last time we tried that.
Wait, what were we even? How did we even get on this topic?
Who
knows how we even got here?
That was his own curiosity.
Right.
No.
He wanted to
I didn't get it started here. That was a natural
segue.
No, that was a natural segue in the conversation.
We were talking about children.
If let's say in a hypothetical situation, you had to take a pill in order to get pregnant, okay? And that pill cost $2,000. We would be living in a fucking utopia. Because the only people who would be able to have a kid would be the ones who could support it and who plan to do it.
Yeah.
And all the people who shouldn't be having one wouldn't be able to have one. Because guess what? They have no money. That's why them having a kid is a problem.
Yeah.
A lot of people do like growing up with their kids, which can be like a bad thing as well. Like if the mother or father hasn't matured themselves, so they're like.
I see plenty of that.
Yeah, especially in like the teenage years.
Oh well, if you're a teen mom, I mean, I kind of feel that way because I'm a young mom.
When your kid's like a
teenager.
Oh yeah.
But I heard the phrase the one time. Your parents are living their life for the first time too.
Yeah, that's very true. Me and my mom, when me and my mom get into like a tussle, like I always try to remember that. I'm like, she's just a human being too. Like she's got her own shit.
You still getting in fights with your mom?
No, just I will think about fights that we did get into.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I'll be like, well, damn, maybe I should have
I don't understand.
Go
Like,
a little easier on her.
Yeah.
You know.
oh no, I'm not going easy on my mom.
Not go, but just like when you, the more I've learned,
light her
it's
ass
like-
up.
Is it giving her
Sometimes
feedback?
yeah, you have to, but the
I
more
will
I've
tell-
learned,
I would tell her to shut up.
Yeah,
That's
which is
wild.
crazy.
yeah, that is crazy. White men be like,
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
for real. I'm like,
That's what you call white privilege.
I wish my son would tell me to shut up. I'd be like, you shut up. No, I'm kidding.
What would you do?
It depends on how he said it.
Would you throw hands?
No, I will never be my child.
Well, good for you. I'm
Yeah,
proud of you.
But
Let's not even get into that.
yeah.
Well, speaking of that, like,
Black people
sometimes-
that beat your children, you're.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
People that black people that beat your children, and it's so fucking weird. Like you'll see a video on Twitter or something, and it would be like a kid like knocking over their fucking like milk. Mind you, they're like 4 or 3 years old, and they'll be like, "I would have beat them to the sun." Not even just black people, just like people.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "I would have beat them to the sun." Kid, like, damn, a 3-year-old can't spill his milk. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
And that's what it goes back to what I was saying. Like, people dehumanize children. They don't see children as human beings. Like, they're not alive. They are human. When you fucking don't want to finish your dinner, do you get fucking beat?
Yeah, well,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some days I don't feel like finishing my dinner.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get mad at my son and fucking curse him the fuck out. And people that talk to their kids fucking crazy, you're a fucking weirdo.
Oh,
You
yeah.
need your ass beat. They'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, shut the fuck up. And they're like 3 years old.
That's
Why are you
crazy.
talking to your
Yeah,
kid
they
like
like
Yeah, I
grip
that?
them
know,
up. They
it's
grip
crazy.
them up and they could dish face.
Yeah.
The
It's like,
reason,
ooh.
the origins, unfortunately, of beating their children in the black community dates back to slavery.
No, it does.
Because they would get beaten as a form of
Yes,
discipline.
yeah.
And they
Also-
carried that on to.
So, as someone that went through that, like I didn't really see it as abuse, even though I'm pretty sure like it is. But there's people out there that are literally getting like beat.
No,
With
yes.
their closed
yeah.
fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, with closed fists, like daily by their parents. So
People
like,
telling their child to shut the fuck up is crazy.
No,
yeah,
I've like seen it happen. I was in Walmart a couple weeks ago with Kanan. We were just shopping, a regular grocery trip, and this girl, she like literally was like, "Shut up." She told her daughter, she was like, "Shut up, shut the fuck up, and like stop crying," all because like she wanted a toy. I mean, I get it. Like kids can be annoying. Like humans
Yeah.
are fucking annoying. Don't get me wrong. And you know they don't always understand everything. But like that's what makes somebody as an adult, especially like a man or just like a woman, like that's why you have horrible fucking partners and you're
Oh,
letting
yeah.
people talk to you fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
Or you're talking to your partner fucking crazy because
Yeah.
that's what was put into your mind. Like kids
yeah.
Yeah.
absorb everything.
They
Human
do.
beings absorb everything. It
They
all
do.
starts when you're an adolescent.
Yeah.
So if you're making those type of patterns and doing those type of things, like
Yeah.
that's how they're going to be as an adult.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even sometimes, like, first of all, it's all about controlling your emotions.
Yes, and a lot of adults don't know how to fucking control their emotions.
don't.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's
And
very
then-
hard to sometimes.
I don't get me wrong, like
But you just need to.
Yeah.
As like
Absolutely.
to be a good human
yes,
and
facts.
respectful,
Yeah.
you need to.
Emotional intelligence is so important. I mean, even when I'm having like, you know, a rough day, my son is like a Velcro baby. Like he's a mama's boy. He wants to be with me all the time. If I'm trying to cook dinner or something and he's, you know, like wants to be picked up or whatever, I don't tell him to shut up. Like I'll be like, I raise my voice sometimes, you know,
Oh,
but
dear.
I don't even like saying I've never told my son to shut up.
Cut to her screaming at him.
No,
like-
not like that.
well,
But
it's
I'll
like,
be
you know,
like,
hi,
Kaden,
Cher.
please, like just give me a second. Like
So you do curse.
I do curse around him,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
but I don't like.
Crazy.
I don't curse at him. There's a difference.
I know, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah. Come correct.
Don't tell me how to raise my son.
Yeah, seriously, don't try it. Especially with your siblings' kids, don't try it.
Oh yeah, even when their siblings' kids are well.
Well,
Everyone has to have a chance to grow.
all right. So, do you believe that religion today is made to fit a certain political agenda? I'm already gonna yes, especially Christianity.
It's used more so by a certain political group. They've
Yeah.
weaponized it more, and kind of by associating with that, they kind of have gained control over a certain voting bloc
Oh yeah, absolutely.
especially in the rural South. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's another thing too, because in those areas, people are uneducated a lot of the times. Like the school systems fucking suck down south. They don't get any money, and in those really rural areas, even like up north in super rural areas, that people are so uneducated
They
just
sure
because of like lack of resources. So they believe those crazy fucking stupid conspiracy theories and
they're taking
feed into the Fox News and CNN propaganda, honestly. But
they're especially religious because a lot of that hopelessness.
Yeah,
you need something.
You need something.
Like I did a rewatch.
And there's nothing else to do but church and
guess what? It's chock full of unwed mothers down there.
Yeah.
I did a rewatch on 16 and Pregnant, and a good chunk of those were like Southerners.
They're probably related to.
And like, what?
Shady shots thrown.
But my question is, what is my question? Basically, what I just want to bring up is separation of church and state.
Oh yeah,
we need.
Oh my god, this is like a big. We fucking need that shit.
The
oh my
lines
god,
are getting blurred now.
The lines are getting, especially in areas like the rural South,
where they can take advantage.
Yeah, where they can take advantage. Like I was talking about this with one of my friends, Jordan. Like I was telling her, I was like, you don't understand. These schools in the South, like Texas, they are trying to infiltrate these public schools.
They are.
And make these kids say like the 10 Commandments.
And not believe in evolution.
And not believe in evolution, not believe in science and things that are concrete and fact. They're trying to like, it's fucking wild. Like it's crazy because that's not, if we want to talk about good things that America stands on principles, separation of church and state, like that's what the founding fathers, that is a thing that they fought for. That was like the whole point of, one of the main points of establishing America was to break away from the Church of England and establish your own society without being underruled with that. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. It's fucking, it's crazy.
You don't need religion in our schools.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope and a very dangerous.
It's a very slippery slope.
Dangerous step in the wrong direction, in my opinion.
And also too, like, not everybody should or has to believe in what you believe in. That is another thing about America. Like, that's one of the good things. Like, we all can have our own views and free speech.
Especially,
Is there Catholic schools that are public?
No.
So they're all private that you had to pay for?
Yeah. At least not to my knowledge. I don't think that can be a thing. Like, I don't think that you could have a school that has like theology
for now
as like as a course or a core of their curriculum in a public school, because the DOE doesn't allow that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
there ain't no DOE anymore.
Yeah,
but
so now we can have whatever, whenever.
Yeah. So we'll see. And that's another thing too. Like I was talking about that with my friend. Like the whole thing with Department of Education, getting rid of that core foundation. Not saying that the Department of Education is the best fucking smoothly run system.
Yeah, but I'd be mighty scared if I had a kid right now and they just get abolished DOA.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Especially for kids with special needs and disabilities.
Yeah.
Like that shit is I was watching a video, I posted it to my Instagram story. Like you're already seeing the effects of how that's affecting, because the Department of Education pays for those children to get an education.
So good luck.
Yeah.
If you've got a disabled child, good luck.
Yeah, and they're already those classrooms with the disabled and special needs children are already mad understaffed. Yeah. Like they're already fighting for people to do those jobs. You gotta have
somebody with a really good heart come in there, because guess what? They're not getting paid much either.
Yeah, they don't get paid shit. Like that's like such an important
We don't
job.
pay people well to take care of disabled children. Let's just think about that.
Or human beings, and we don't pay teachers well.
No, they don't.
We don't pay the people in society that do the most important jobs.
Yeah.
And that's
that's
why people don't know shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like these people are teaching your children the core, just fundamentals.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like spot the difference, or division and all that, and you can't even like pay them well.
Yeah, you can't even pay
tasks and skills that they're gonna use daily.
It's fucking wild of how they treat teachers in society.
And as someone who grew up in a semi-rural town where they don't get any of the good teachers, high school was a scary place.
Yeah,
I'll just tell you that.
And that's why most of those kids drop out and become teen mothers, or they fucking go to work in a junkies. Yes.
Yep.
Oh my god, that reminds me of this documentary I fucking watched about the area that they call like Pennsatucky here in Pennsylvania, like with the coal mines and they're
all closed. And guess what? Trump's not going to reopen them. They were closed due to automation. It has nothing to do with politics. If a fucking crane can carry as much coal as 40 men, why the fuck would I employ 40 men as a business owner?
Yeah, it's no, but I was watching this documentary and it was this girl and she was basically like addicted to meth. She was 15 years old.
We gotta watch this.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and I have to find it on my YouTube like videos. But she was addicted to meth, and her whole family for her whole life, and the grandma, like even the grandma and the grandma's family, they were all like drug addicts, like
Yeah,
on both
it's
sides
very
of her.
much
Like,
genetic.
yeah, and literally all she had seen her whole life, and her mother had always only seen like people being addicted to meth. Like the whole town was like fucking, like like addicted to meth.
Yeah.
And she didn't know anything fucking different, and it would just like showed her life and like how that controlled and it revolved around what they did and like where they lived and how it controlled everything. Like meth controlled it. Yeah.
You ever tried it?
Meth?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
I've tried it.
You've tried meth?
I had two.
I'm keeping this in.
I had two friends. I had two friends who were super into it, and these two girls.
Yeah.
They were in and out of jail.
Mm.
They actually met because they were cellmates.
Yeah.
They told me women's jail wasn't that bad, and they all had iPads to keep them from fighting.
Well, jail now is like pretty like, especially if you're in like.
Jail now is what?
I mean, jail fucking sucks.
Yeah,
Don't get me
that's
wrong.
right.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it's a little bit better because they have like
maybe
technology.
if you're in a low security one.
Well,
Like if you're in a supermax.
like county, like
It
county
depends where
jail.
you're
Well,
at.
Cecile was in the county jail. I mean,
You have an iPad?
they have tablets.
wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Do
this
they have
girl-
to pay for them from commission, or they're just there?
I mean,
It is-
anybody that goes to jail, you have a lot of fucking fines when you get out.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta pay for your whole time there.
Yeah,
It's
you,
crazy.
you do.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
It's insane.
Huh? Pay for what?
Pay for your housing,
Huh?
pay for your food.
You have to pay.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
if you don't figure out a way to pay it, you're going back to jail.
Yeah.
Really?
That's how they do it because privatized prisons to get kickbacks from the
Yeah.
government. That's
Wow.
the other reason why they want us to have all these kids to get rid of birth control is because
So they can
they
fill
want
up
them to
those
become
fucking
criminals.
prisons.
Yep.
Prison to what is it? The prison to the school to what is it? What is the pipeline? What is that saying? What is that theory? What is it called?
Well, anyway, back to math.
School.
So this girl says to me, she's like, it's only one molecule different from Adderall, but it's my favorite molecule.
Oh
I
God.
was like, okay, so I was taking on Adderall all the time and like ran out. So I was like, okay, I'll try some. Put it in a drink and like stirred it up and drank it. So obviously I'm not gonna like smoke it or anything
Yeah. Or
like that. It wasn't.
shoot it up.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh
God no.
God.
It wasn't. It honestly wasn't that different from Adderall, but it was like way more extreme. So you'd be like, and you could tell it wasn't made in like a laboratory setting, just because of the way the effect worked. Like you'd be super amped up and like an Adderall-like effect, then it would go back to feeling sober, then like back up here, and it was just like a very extreme, jittery like form of. It was like taking too much Adderall.
Yeah.
Not something I'd ever like seek out. That's for sure. I don't know how people like that's their preferred. Anyone out there who's ever taken too much Adderall. It's not a pleasant thing.
Well, my friend was telling me this one time we were talking about, maybe it was Adderall we were talking about, because that sounds like Coke. That's like how it like the highs and the lows.
Yeah, but it
like,
lasts
come
way
down.
longer.
A
Yeah.
lot of Cokes like laced with meth these days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cheap to
Not
make.
the good shit. If you have a good connect, probably not. But
Here's why, man. Yeah, holler. If you got a good connect, let us know.
Pablo Escobar.
They're hard to find these days. No meth. Here's why meth is such a scourge, as well as fentanyl. Okay.
And heroin.
And no, heroin and cocaine require a plant. They're organic, so you have to smuggle it in.
Anyways, I'm getting riled up.
You guys should have seen what happened off camera. That's all I'm gonna say.
Anyways.
They didn't need to see all that.
They didn't. Especially I don't want to hear Dominic fight when I'm laying pipe.
No, that part has to
Actually,
stay.
I do.
That part has to stay.
No, that's staying in. Have you ever astral projected?
I do have a book about it, but I've definitely had some like out of body experiences of like entering other realms
Have
and
you guys
stuff
seen
like that.
Soul?
Mm-mm. Oh, wait, was that the Disney one? Pixar? I
oh,
have
I
actually.
have seen that.
With
Yeah.
the guy who plays the saxophone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was good.
That was cute.
That was good.
And when the people are like, when I have a friend who's like trying to get into spirituality, I always tell them to watch Soul because it's like the best. It's such a simple way of explaining.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
cool. though.
the purpose or what like purpose of life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a very underrated movie.
It is. Dude, no one
deserves
talks
more-
about it, really.
Yeah, it deserves more racism. It deserves more recognition.
Racism?
Yeah, it's about the main
Oh, yeah,
character's
yeah, yeah.
black.
He is, which is good.
Get a load of this guy.
Why? I don't get why you said racism.
Because it gets.
Oh, I see. Racism is why no one talks about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Side eye.
No, I didn't realize what you meant.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I've only had sleep paralysis before.
No, that's fucking scary.
Yeah.
I've had sleep paralysis probably maybe like twice my whole life.
I had that one time.
I've had a couple instances though where I don't know what you would call this, but like there's like danger in my dream and I need to like wake up, like, and I know that, so like
Lucid dreaming.
Is it that?
Mm-hmm. When
So
you're
I'm,
aware
like,
of what's happening
I'm like
while you're dreaming.
screaming in the dream, but like it doesn't come out. But the more that I had done it, because I was like experiencing like nightmares for a little bit there. So like the more that I did it, the louder it would actually get, and then it would like get him to wake up and then wake me up.
I remember when I when I had my I unlocked the power of lucid dreaming.
Yep.
I lucid dream a lot, like probably ever since I stopped smoking weed. Like
I need to unlock that. How did you unlock it?
I think I did it with like meditation.
Dream journaling? Did you do dream journaling?
Yeah, I was gonna
I
ask
used
that.
to. I don't really, not so much anymore.
My one
I
friend is
sometimes
really
when I have
into
like a really like crazy one, I'll write it down.
Were you able to get back to sleep though?
Yeah.
There's always my concern.
I remember. I have a
Dreams
really good
themselves are
memory though, so
phenomenal.
I'll have a dream
really?
and I'll remember it when I
Yeah,
wake up.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
But I lucid dream a lot all
That's
the time.
awesome. I had a lucid dream the other night. I want to like recreate it.
You should.
Be able to enable it again.
I used to have crazy fucking dreams where I would I'd like write stories. Like I'll turn them into stories. I still do that sometimes.
Just by meditating, you learn to lucid dream.
I think that's how I unlocked it.
I have a book about it that they kind of seem like so they talk about how dream journaling is the best way to do it. But I don't really
Really?
want to do all that.
Really?
I honestly think too, like
Is lucid dreaming just being aware that you're dreaming?
it's kind of
Or-
it's
Yeah.
yes, and it's being able to like
Control your
control
dreams.
your dream.
Oh, because
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm dreaming, I am always aware that this is a dream.
Like if
Really?
you're having
Yeah, like I'm never like just like it can never
So
just
then
be like
you-
sleep.
so
Well,
that-
I'm sure maybe the ones that I don't remember that.
If
occurs.
you're aware it's a dream, then you should start like running through walls and like eating people like the little
That-
But
cookies.
sometimes no, it really doesn't. When you really want something, eating people's boogies.
Eating them, like turning someone into a cookie and eating it.
I thought you said something else.
No, I wouldn't say that. You can do that in real life.
No. Ew, some people really do
Please
that.
edit
though.
that eating boogies part out. Why would you say that?
I
Why
thought
would
you
you
said
think I would
that.
say that?
I will, but that is like kind of the first step to lucid dreaming. If you're aware of
Yeah.
you're dreaming when you're dreaming,
Yeah.
and that basically that kind of
Then you
is.
can do whatever you want.
It's
Yeah.
another step though to control the dream though.
All you have
Because
to
I've
do
been
is
tr-
be-
I
it's like-
wanted to like
activate the consciousness, and
If
then
you
that's how you can astral project as well. Because
Yeah.
lucid dreaming is like the first step to being
Yeah,
able to
it
astral
is.
project.
It is. You need to do more things if you know it's a dream.
sometimes though if I want to run somewhere, my speed in the dream is not what I want it to be.
That's
like
why you
if
have.
I'm running from a danger.
You can't run in a dream.
You can't run.
Like, yeah, it's not. I'm pretty sure.
No, there'll be like danger, like legit
What do you mean you
danger.
can't run in a dream?
I think
Is that
that's like
true?
it's something like there. Yeah, I don't think you can. I've never. I remember I had a dream one time. It was like a nightmare, and I was running, but I wasn't like. I remember it was like slow motion. Like I don't know how to
I feel
explain
like a lot
it.
of people
It
suffer
is
from
slow.
that.
Yeah, like
motion.
it was like slow motion.
But it
I remember
seems like
waking
you're
up and
running.
like looking it up. I don't think you can run in a dream.
Evidently, I've noticed that like entities and spirits, they want to communicate with you. It's usually done in a dream.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's usually how they go about
Yeah.
it, where your mind is more free and open.
Yeah, I mean, when you're dreaming, lucid dreaming, that's why I said it's like the first step to astral projection because it's how you can communicate with your spirit guides and you're entering the spirit realm and outside of your physical body when you're dreaming. You're like unlocking something in your brain subconsciously because your dreams are just your subconscious basically trying to tell, a lot of the time trying to tell you something. You can't have like frivolous dreams, of course, but like it's all subconscious.
Interestingly, Sigmund Freud, who like invented psychology. So
Yeah.
he was partnered with another doctor named Carl Jung, who was
I learned about this.
yeah, he was like his partner in the development of psychology and psychiatry. But Carl Jung was involved in like dream analysis and lucid dreaming and like mysticism and the conjuring of like spirits essentially, and spirits that communicated with him in dreams and shared information, and that caused a rift between them because Freud believed that like no one would ever take psychology or psychiatry seriously if it involved like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it kind of caused them to go in different directions. That's why
That's
we
really
know Freud
interesting.
for inventing it rather than Carl Jung. If you read some of his books, he talks about things that are like straight up out of like the supernatural world.
Yeah. You should try to astral project. Start meditating. I want to do a whole episode. I want Ryan to come on so we can talk about that because he's like,
he knows a lot.
he knows about.
And apparently, the government have elite units that have been studying astral projection and used it as a weapon.
Really?
And yeah, especially during the days of what was MK Ultra.
Yeah, in like the 60s.
Yeah, 70s, when they would like force people to take enormous amounts of acid.
Yeah.
Thinking they could, like,
I
weaponize it.
have a book about that at home. It was like this. It's the psychologist, and he talked about when he first started doing acid and magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
And how it's like they did a trial, and he like basically conducted his own study. He would have his friends, like a group of like 6 of them, come over. They would all do acid, and they did it for like I think 6 or 8 weeks or something like that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Does your tolerance for that go up?
Not as much as other drugs.
Yeah. What are some books that you've read that helped you gain knowledge about like? Well, I know you said The Power of Now. What about you?
So there's this book I can't recommend enough called The Tree of Life, and it was written by Israel Regardie, who was a member of the Radiant Order of the Golden Dawn. And essentially that was him like leaking all of their secrets in a more digestible and readable form.
Yeah.
And it talks about all their rituals and ascension and communicating with spirits and drawing like what's called a pentacle of protection, like a magical circle that prevents, like when you conjure like spirits or in some cases like demons, what they refer to as, that it prevents them from like entering the circle and like possessing you or causing you any harm.
Yeah.
So you can conjure whatever spirits you want from inside there and then get them to give you information or help you accomplish tasks. And rather than people being like, you sell your soul to do it, it's more that like the price you pay is the completion of the task. You like give them a mission. So if you conjure a super powerful spirit and say like, I want to build an empire that will last for centuries, they're going to be on your back until the day you die, until you accomplish that goal.
Yeah.
So if you make it something more attainable, like I want to, get a better job, or I want to, let's say set a goal, I want to have a child, whatever. Once that goal is completed, then they are released from their, you could call it
It's
like
kind of
grasp.
reincarnation in a way. I was reading up on how, or this is what I believe. I don't know how true this is, but I think that like each soul has certain things in their life that they're supposed to accomplish, or certain goals or things they're supposed to overcome. And when somebody gets reincarnated, if that thing or whatever wasn't accomplished, you go into a life where you're then supposed to, accomplish that goal or complete that task or whatever. And if you don't do it, then it keeps like happening. Otherwise, the soul cycle starts over, and then it's like a new. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. That's like the best way that I can explain it.
Do you think you're always reincarnated as a human?
No. No.
I don't really want to be reincarnated, honestly.
We won't know.
Just keep coming back and coming back. And
well, that's what I'm saying.
I think end to it.
I think if you keep coming back, like, and I met when I astral projected the second time, I met 2 of my like past lives.
Oh, what were they?
Yeah, one was a little girl, and one was an older man.
When people talk about their past lives, they always like are like Cleopatra or Leonardo da Vinci.
Right.
Like they're never just like some mud farmer in medieval England who died at 26 with melded bones and broken fingernails. You know what I mean?
Well, for me, when I did this, mind you, I was like, a lot of people they'll astral project off like shrooms or something. I was like sober when this happened. That's how I know that it's like I may be fucking crazy.
It can be done more easily with drugs, but it can be done just as easily.
I mean, I did it through meditation.
And when you do it, it kind of is like being on a drug.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's definitely an out of body experience.
Yeah,
the first time it happened to me, I was fucking scared, like because some crazy shit happened. I don't know. To me, it seemed like I entered like another like an alternate dimension because I saw something happen. And then, like, I woke up or I came to, and, like, I went to see if that thing that I witnessed happened, and it did not fucking happen.
I see.
Yeah.
It was like an
at least,
reality.
yeah, exactly. But no, when I met or I guess encountered my past life, I think that what happened to her and it's crazy because I was talking to my friend. He did shrooms this one time, and he said he met like 6 of his past lives.
Wow.
And one of them was like an extraterrestrial being.
Whoa. That's pretty cool.
Imagine your past life being from another planet, and you're here working at a BK. You know what I mean? And you know, in your past life, you were Garbodon from the Tangulu Nebula, flying around,
Fucking fighting intergalactic
intergalactic
battles.
wars, drinking stardust, and like, yeah, that would suck. See, that's why the reincarnation thing is like.
Yeah.
But if it was in another, maybe we do retain our knowledge of our past life, but our people here on Earth are only the first incarnations.
Yeah.
And when we die, we come back in another
I think it's
galaxy.
true. I think you do. Like, I think reincarnation revolves the whole like solar system, like planets. Like, I think you can have a past life that's an extraterrestrial. I mean, what we would call an
To
extraterrestrial.
them, they're just
another
being.
Yeah, they're just another being. But what we on Earth would call like an ET. But when I met her, she was like, it was a little girl. She was 8, and something happened to her, and then I think that she never she was killed.
Oh God.
And I think me and my soul, the things that I went through, was kind of so that I could live throughout her trauma, like, you know, like fix the trauma that she went through because she never got to finish out her life. I was reincarnated to go through basically what she went through, but then fix it and work through it. And yeah.
In the Kabbalah, they apparently as you climb the fruits of life and you unlock deeper levels of enlightenment and spiritual knowledge and understanding, they do believe in reincarnation. And while you start over in your physical form, you retain the level of knowledge you achieved in the astral realm.
Yeah.
In your new body. So while you think you know nothing, when you start meditating and ascending, you begin to realize that you actually have unlocked things, perhaps in a past life.
Yeah.
And you're starting at a higher level.
Well, have you ever heard about like past life regression, where you can unlock that stuff?
And you're like, oh, I was Mona Lisa. I was the girl in the Mona Lisa. No one.
I mean,
that's the other thing. Everyone always keeps their gender when they're talking about their past lives.
See, I think
She said she was
I was
no
up there.
man.
well, not you.
Yeah.
I'm when people are like, I was the past life. I was Leonardo. I was Alexander the Great. It's never like me being like, I was Cleopatra. I was getting dicked down by Mark Antony.
Yeah.
It was so great.
I think that I don't think.